All right, let's go ahead and get started. Welcome back, everyone. So what I wanted to do is spend today kind of unpacking Intra Edg because I know BCAA powders is a huge thing in your market. And from what I understand, a lot of you are taking intra-workout products. Your members, your clients, is kind of like the thing, I guess, that happens down in your guys' area as far as one of the go-to products. So I think this one's going to be fantastic for you, not only to be able to sell, because I'm sure a lot of you know the benefits of BCAAs, but also will find it pretty easy to sell because hopefully you buy into the science and you're aware of it and you probably take it yourself. So there's some good things there, and that's obviously going to help you boost your revenue, but also have another go-to product to get in the hands of clients and members. So I'm excited about this. So with that being said, let's dig into Intra Edg. But before we get into the specs on the product, I want to get in the know. And what I mean by that is I know most of you are aware of what BCAAs are and those things, but I think if we dig a little deeper and get into some of the science, some of you might learn some things about them, and of course how that's going to correlate into our product and the formulation. So let's kick it off with, well, what are BCAAs? Now, most of you know they're essential. The body can't produce them, so we got to get them through the diet. They are a third of what's in the muscle tissue, so they're obviously substantial in the muscle tissue. The key thing with amino acids, and we're talking about branched-chain amino acids, is the protein synthesis. Now that's just a fancy word for basically how protein is put together, how it's used in the cell. But that is obviously extremely important because you all know as the building blocks to protein and the benefits of what protein is to build, recover, and maintain muscle tissue. That's something that's important. Obviously, when you look at BCAAs, they are metabolized in the muscle, where most amino acids are metabolized in the liver. So obviously, being that they're a key component of what's in the muscle and what is the muscle and metabolized in the muscle, that's all focused. Everything we're talking about right now is muscle, muscle, muscle. So absolutely critical. Now, there's three of them. The first one that we're going to look at is going to be one of the most important. I'll call it the star or the hero, and I'm sure you know where I'm going to go with this in a little bit. But that one is going to be the one that is really focused on protein synthesis. So we're going to dig into leucine, and like I said, this is the hero right here. I mean, this is where you start and you look at it. This is the one that most people find the most benefit when you talk about muscle tissue. Now, when you look at leucine, the thing about leucine, it has the greatest effect on protein synthesis. So again, to simplify that, it has the greatest effect on how proteins are put together and used in the cell. And it's by far more than any other amino acid. And that is key. Now, I'm going to give you guys a little chance to get a little extra credit here. Use your chat. If you know what, I'm going to ask you this question. The first one to chat, your team's going to get some free Intra Edg as soon as it comes out. So be ready to type this in if you know it. This is going to be a little bit more deeper into the science. But what's that signaling or that sensory process called? That leucine is critical and is well known for what it does. So it's a censoring part of it. There's a terminology for it. If you want to take a stab at it, I'm gonna keep chatting for another couple seconds here, give you a chance to see if you can get it. And it's based on, I'll give you an extra hint. It's based on mammals. It's in mammals. It's a triggering or sensory event that is responsible for protein synthesis. And the reason why I want to talk about that is because it's a little bit deeper into the science of it, but this is where the benefits of leucine really is. And again, it's the star. I mean, this is no doubt about it. This is the star amino acid here when you talk about helping muscle tissues with building and recovering. Okay, so when you look at leucine, the thing about it is it increases what's called, and no one's chatted it out, so I'm just going to go ahead and get it. But rest assured, you guys will get some free Intra Edg. So I'll still give you some to sample. mTOR, and if you don't know what that is the the scientific term, I guess, if you will, for it's the sensor to protein synthesis, to energy, to nutrients. It basically is a key component, and it's vital for, you've probably heard this in classes you've had, or just knowing as a trainer about the muscles, hypertrophy, so the building of muscle. So, and what's interesting to note when we talk about the mTOR signaling and censoring is if leucine concentration, as far as what's in the muscle tissue, is lower, what's going to happen is it's not going to signal that mTOR, that ability to, that protein synthesis to activate. Now, here's the thing. If you have a higher concentration of leucine in the muscle tissue, what it's going to say is, hey, I got enough. I'm sufficient here for protein. My body, it has extra protein, or it's at least acknowledging with that extra leucine that, hey, I have enough and I'm sufficient to build, and then mTOR is activated. And again, mTOR is the sensor for protein synthesis. So when you have a higher concentration of leucine, you're activating that, and we all know the benefits of building blocks to protein and synthesis and things like that. That is key. So that's one of the key things of leucine, is that's one of the main things that it does, is it drives that sensory signal for using those aminos for building protein and energy and nutrients. And the other component to it that can be overlooked but is definitely important is it also helps form sterols. And that's important because if you don't know anything about that, real quick, that's what helps make hormones, cell membranes, which all, when you talk about hormones and the building of cell membranes, you're talking about supporting muscle tissue, density, recovery, increasing performance. So, you know, when you look at leucine, it's obviously the most recognized BCAA. It's definitely the star. So, you know, that I did want to dig into that one a little bit more than what's just up here on the slide. Brent, kudos to you, man. You got it. I don't know if you hit it up after I said it, but I'm gonna get it to you, man. That's good. You got mTOR right there. So you chatted it out. You're gonna get an extra one. All right. So the next BCAA. Let's keep plugging along here. Isoleucine. Now with isoleucine, this is kind of a combo deal. You gotta have your leucine and your valine, which we're gonna talk about next. In combination, it helps promote better recovery, you know, after your physical activity. But here's the thing about isoleucine is the formation of hemoglobin. And if you look at that, if you've been in physiology classes and you see hemoglobin, you kind of know that correlates to blood, right? And it's a red protein. Its key role is really transporting oxygen into the blood. So that's one of the values of isoleucine, is the formation of the red protein hemoglobin that helps transport oxygen into the blood. Now, let's think about that for a moment, because what is the value there? Well, what happens when you exercise? I'm going to give you another opportunity. You get ready to chat it out. What is that buildup that just absolutely stinks and is part of the O2 carbon dioxide exchange? The one that kind of makes you like, oh man, this hurts. I mean, I hated it in basketball when I had to have to run those suicides for conditioning. You know, you go to the free throw line, and I'm buying you some time here. Oh, I got some chats here. Let me see who got it first. Travis, man, you just beat out Cody here. Lactic acid, you got it, absolutely. I mean, I hated that stuff, that buildup, man. When you're doing those suicides, that was when I just got hit hard. You're doing, you know, free throw line back, half court back, 3/4 back, full court back, and you're burning, right? It's just killing you. And the thing about isoleucine that it can definitely help with is being able to through that increasing the oxygen in the blood is obviously shuttling that into the muscle, because let's face it, when you exercise, your heart rate's up, you're putting more blood into the muscle, but secondary to that, you're rushing in oxygen, but you also are more likely to carry out that buildup and that waste. So I want you to hold on to that fact and grab that, because that's obviously a key component to when we're talking about a product that's really fitting into something you take when you work out. That's some benefit, right? That can help you with your performance, and obviously, you know, get a little bit more strength or get a little bit more intensity out of your workout. So that exchange is one of the things I like to focus on with isoleucine. Now, there are some definite benefits with blood sugar and energy levels and things like that. But I think that exchange and that helping carry out that waste is definitely a key component when we're talking about a product specifically designed around better workout, and obviously recovery and impacting the muscle tissue. The next one that we're going to talk about here, valine. Now this one has it's got a stimulating effect, as do these other amino acids when you talk about muscle metabolism and repair and growth. There's no doubt about it. But the key point to focus with valine here is the nitrogen balance. That's kind of what I call the thing to focus on. I mean, let's face it. When you look at nitrogen balance, there's some things we know in the science where if you have decreased nitrogen levels, it's going to be drawn out of the muscle. Now, nitrogen, if we just go back to the macronutrient in and of itself, protein, it is the only macronutrient that has nitrogen, I believe. And that's a key thing to, being able to use, and where the body starts to take on, if I don't have enough nitrogen, it's going to be drawn out. It's going to decrease it, which means that's going to impact the muscles. And nitrogen is needed to complete that protein, along with obviously the amino acids, to be able to use that. So, but here's the thing about it. If you have higher excretion of nitrogen levels in the body, you create that anabolic state. And you all know, you've heard that term before, anabolic. That means you're in a growth state. And so that's key, to have that extra nitrogen levels for the protein and creating that anabolic state. So that's one of the components with valine. Another one is and you can see it up here, is the preserving glucose. Now, I think that's huge, because if you've been on my trainings before, I talk about this a lot. The preferred source and how the body uses energy is glycogen, right? Blood sugar. And all of our muscles have a storage of it, right? When we work out, and if we're working out like we should, guy or gal, and we're kicking our butt hard, your body's going to go to the muscle. It's going to start using that glucose. But if you can preserve that and set yourself up to use more of the fat through beta oxidation, which is the breakdown of fat, and using it as energy, and some of the aminos as energy, you're reserving that store, so that, going back to what I've said before, is if you don't have those energy stores replenished quickly after you resistance train or do hard, intense cardio, guess what? Your body's going to start burning and turning whatever it can get its hands on as a survival mechanism to replenish energy stores first. Your body's always going to do that. It's not going to say, hey, I need to build up protein and repair muscle tissue. From a survival mechanism, it's say, hey, I need to get my energy stores back up because I don't know when I'm going to need it again. So I'm going to do that first. So if you can preserve that and then really focus on the building and repairing through the protein in the muscle tissue, that's key. So that's one of the things I like to talk about with valine. So that's a little, hopefully some good points, a little bit deeper in points, maybe some things you learned on the BCAA side of things. Let's take it a step further, because there's some other things I want to talk about, and that is the ratio. And you may have seen this before, but the 2 to 1 to 1 ratio, so 2 heavy on leucine, 1 isoleucine valine, that ratio is nature's way. That is how it is. When you look at BCAAs together, that is the ratio of it is. Now, it's also research validated that that's the best for the body. That's how the body best uses and metabolizes and uses it for protein synthesis, 2 to 1 ratio. And I want to make that point, because if you've seen some intra-workouts out there, you've seen some evolution with messing with amino acids, there's things going on where people are saying, hey, leucine, I gave you the lowdown on leucine, and it's the star. Well, shoot, let's go up to 6 to 1, or let's go up to 4 to 1 on this. And my belief says there's not enough evidence out there. Just because leucine is the star and there's so much that it brings to the table, you start messing with what's been proven and research validated on the usage and of the amino acids, and you say, okay, if it's that good, let's bump it up. Well, you actually may be affecting the natural way of how it's best used, and that's why when you get into our product, and what you're going to find in most of your best selling types of these products, 2 to 1 ratio is where it's at, and that's why, because it's ultimately, that's what it's found in nature, and that's how it's best utilized, and the research proves it. All right, let's get on to the next one. Glutamine. I I want to talk about this one because we've dug into this one in the past, and there's debate out there. Is it a non-essential amino acid? That's kind of what it's classified. It's also, with some people in the science world, it's kind of conditionally. And I like to lean towards conditionally because here's the thing. While it is the most abundant amino acid in the muscle, it also is used in every cell. Okay, and especially like your intestinal lining, immune cells, the cells that are, if you know anything about those, they're more rapidly dividing and building and things like that. So it's heavily used in that. But the point here is, while it is the most abundant amino acid in the muscle, it's also released during muscle stress. And we know exercise is a stress. Now, it's a good stress. It's an important stress. You tear it down to build it up. It's what you want to do. But if we're working out like we want to be with the intensity, and we're hitting it hard, we're going to have more stress, right? The body's going to signal that faster. But it's even for those people that are not as intense. Someone that's new. Guess what? If they haven't been doing anything, and then all of a sudden they're going to start doing exercise, I guarantee you they're going to put more stress on their body too, right? So the key thing with that is it's used in every body, but if it's ever depleted at a certain level, guess where it's going to go? If we know it's found in the muscle, it's the most abundant amino acid in the muscle, and if you're getting short or you're stressed through whatever means, through exercise or just stress in general, or you're depleting your glutamine, well, where's it found? It's in the muscle. The body is going to start breaking it down because glutamine is such a vital thing. It's used by every cell. So now I'm not going to sit here and tell you guys, hey, that's going to happen every time you work out. You're going to deplete it to a level where your body's just going to start breaking down muscle tissue. No, but the science supports that if there is a higher level of stress, the body will start to break that down. But so that's kind of the overview. But I do want to dig a little bit deeper because there's some key points to, even though it is considered conditionally, meaning that it can be depleted to a certain level that you have to supplement with, the fact is we're working out hard, right? So an added level of glutamine in your body is good. And there's some key points here. Is number one, it helps hydrate the muscle cells. Now that's good from a couple different things, like that the beautiful thing of having that pump or that swell, or that swole, if you want to say it, right? That nice little kind of pump. The muscles are tighter. That's obviously a cool thing if you've ever taken glutamine consistently. But it also, from a science standpoint, a hydrated cell is a happy cell. So, if a cell is hydrated, you're able to shuttle in nutrients better, take out waste better. So that's one of the things with glutamine. It also serves as muscle food by donating the carbon to help replenish glycogen. And if you've been listening, we already dug into a little bit of glycogen already and the importance of that and having that as an energy store. So that's definitely a key thing. Helps with neutralizing muscle breakdown. Cortisol, as you know, is a stress hormone, can be released during higher intensity exercise. Also promotes protein synthesis. Again, that's the building of protein and the usage of protein in the cell. Glutathione, if you remember this from way back when we first did some training, that is one of the most powerful antioxidants in the body. And glutamine is a huge player in working with that antioxidant and increasing that in the body. And then growth hormone levels. So glutamine is obviously a great amino acid to kind of put into the mix of branched chain amino acids. Now the last one, citrulline. This one is our first true, no doubt about it, non-essential amino acid. So the body, obviously, when you talk about non-essential, can make it. The cool thing about citrulline is it's a precursor to arginine. So it's kind of a precursor to making arginine, which, if you know anything about that one, that's the pump one, right? That's the one that the nitric oxide effect, that's the one that, arginine is, it gets you that pump. It's in your pre-workouts. L-citrulline is an advanced ingredient. What I mean by that is that amino acid has been shown and proven in science to drive that pump more, drive more arginine in that pump. That's why when we talk about Thermo-Ignite as more of a performance pre-workout, you see any pre-workout that has citrulline in it, I'm going to classify that as a more performance-based because it is a higher end ingredient and it does drive substantially that pump more. So that is a key thing. Now, when we talk about that pump, what you're doing is you're increasing blood flow, you're supplying nutrients, getting out waste. So you're helping detoxify and getting rid of some of that buildup, especially talk about lactic acid buildup. So when we look at those key players, there's no doubt about it, and you know this, I've wanted to get you in the know on these because that's what you're going to find in the Intra Edg. It's also what you're going to find in most of your your intra workout products that you're going to find out there. So with that being said, let's take some of that stuff that we've talked about and look at the specs of the Intra Edg that's going to be coming out here shortly. What is it? Well, it's an intra-workout catalyst. We're talking about maximizing performance and recovery. It is in a 2-to-1-to-1 ratio of leucine to isoleucine to valine. So it is in that proven nature's way. That's how it's best ratio. It does have, because obviously we talked about it, glutamine and citrulline. That is a mistake right there. Didn't catch that one. It's citrulline, not carnitine. It does have the citrulline and glutamine in it. So here's the breakdown on this, and I want to flash this up because on average, Intra Edg has about 10% more easily of the BCAAs, the glutamine, and the citrulline. Okay. Now you can take that for what it's worth, as far as so it has more. But hopefully, with our product line, you default back to another big one is the quality, right? The purity, the potency. You know that what's in this product is going to be the highest purity and potency. Has gone through 3 quality control points, so the quality is going to be dynamic. So already when you look at it, it's got more of the formulation than most, and it has the trusted SRX quality. It's going to be a phenomenal intra-workout product. So it does have 7.4 grams of BCAAs per serving, 2.6 grams of glutamine, 1.2 grams of citrulline. Okay, so that's kind of just to give you a high-level view of this product. And if you compare that to what else is out there, again, that's going to be typically a higher per serving dump, if you will, of those ingredients, which is great, right? And why you take this product, we kind of going to summarize what we talked about with the BCAAs, the glutamine, and the citrulline. It's all about ideally, you take this during your workout, right? You're taking it to do a couple different things. You're going to help out your performance. You're going to help out your intensity, reduce lactic acid. You're going to help promote better recovery. You're going to drive the protein synthesis, the building blocks of the protein, because we know how important protein is. You're going to drive that. You're going to increase that. Build lean muscle mass. Increase fat burning. So there's a lot of value here. And when you look at this, there's one thing I want you to hold on to that we're going to talk about next. Who is that for? Okay? Think about that. When you look at all the value of this formulation and these ingredients that are in it, who's it for? So we're going to address that in a little bit. But before we do that, how do you take it? So let's talk about that. Ideally, it's going to be between 1 to 3 scoops, and 1 scoop is 1 serving, by the way, with 8 to 10 ounces of water. This thing is Arctic Grape. I tell you what, the taste on this, when you guys get it, I'm confident you're going to love it. We sampled out all kinds of different ones, and the Arctic Grape by far was it was awesome. Great tasting. So it'll also be one you'll definitely want to sample out for tables, and we're going to get you some stuff to do that because the taste is incredible. So the Arctic Grape Dynamite. Now, on non-workout days, you could definitely do 1 serving a day because why not? I mean, that's when the recovery and the magic is happening. Why not supply at least 1 serving of the BCAAs, glutamine, and citrulline? Now, to get a little bit more advanced, I do want to flash this up because this is one thing where you can get more into the, okay, how much should I really take? Now, for women up to 125 pounds, it's suggested to do 1 scoop. That should cover you. And it's based on weight. Now, overall, we know that the higher the weight someone has, for the most part, their lean body weight is going to be higher. For women over 125, it's going to be 2 scoops a serving. For men, 200 pounds and under is 2 scoops a serving. For over 200 pounds, 3 scoops. Now, how do you kind of come to that? Well, the suggestion, if you look at the research out there and how much, typically you're going to see about 9 grams per 100 pounds of lean body weight. Okay, so that's kind of where you look at, okay, so how much do I really need to do here? Now, a guy or gal that has more weight, we're going to default back to they probably have lean more. I mean, it could be more fat, but it could be a combo of more fat and more lean body mass, right? So they are going to have more needs if they have more lean body weight. So that's where you get this extra kind of a view of how should you take this product. I'll tell you what, if it's me and it's my client, or if I'm talking to a member, I'm going to take the next step and kind of dial it in even more for them. Because when I was a trainer, I was a body comping fiend. I'll tell you what, I live by that because I wanted people to see, I wanted them to see their fat mass and their lean body mass. And for the most part, with good body comps, you can track that stuff over, over a mid to long term duration. But why not say, hey, let's dig into this, see what you really need. If I got a 125 pound male, let's say, and let's say they're pretty lean, 10-12% body fat, they're going to have about, top of my head, if someone's got a calculator, let me know, but I think it's about 190, 191 pounds of lean body mass because they're pretty lean. So they have a lot of muscle tissue, right? So that, if you take that divided by 9, we're going to get to 20, 21 grams. That's what's suggested. So that's where you see 7.4, just stay with me for a second, 7.4 grams to get to 21 point whatever it is, we got to times that by 3. So you'll see men over 200 pounds, typically 3 scoops a serving. So you can really dig into that if you do comp your clients or you're doing different things for your members where they're tracking their results. This is a great product to say, hey, we got a great product here that's going to impact not only your workout and your performance, but also your muscle tissue and fat burning. So let's really dial this in. Let's see what your body weight is and see what serving is going to be best for you. Again, this is a general outline based on men and women and their weight, but you can kind of dig into that a little bit more. All right, so with that being said, I'm going to flash this up, and I want you to think about this for a moment. What is this? I mean, is it a car? Is it a SUV? No, it's you probably heard of that kind of. I'm not going to say I know everything about cars, but I would say in the last, I don't know, maybe decade or so, you've heard this term, crossover, right? It's not a car. It's not an SUV. It's kind of in the middle. And here's my goal of flashing this up. I want you to burn this in your mind. When you think of Intra Edg, I want you to think of crossover. And actually, I want you to think of, what is this? I mean, this is Infinity. You could say that's a luxury kind of brand. I want you to think of luxury crossover. And the reason why I want to do that, I don't want Intra Edg. I don't want this product to be just kind of fit into this category of the guru guy and gal. The one that's just high intensity, super big or super ripped, or that I don't want it to be that. I want it to be a product for everyone, because if you look at all the value we talked about with BCAAs, glutamine and citrulline, and the fact that it can help with performance, building muscle tissue, and increasing body fat burning, you have a product that's a crossover. It's a great product for guys and gals, whether they want to tone up or build muscle or support their workout. It's really one of the few products in our line that can be sold, but also provided as a solution to just about anyone that whether they're novice, mediate, or advanced. It's going to be a great product for them. It's a truly great crossover product. So that's kind of why I flash this up. I want you to burn that in your mind, because I really hope this product is something that, when you talk about why you take it in the formulation, it's really going to be a great product for everyone. All right, I'm going to finish off with this. We are going to get you guys out some different signs. Here's one of the signs we have for you. So you have some tools to talk about the product, promote the product. Now I'm gonna definitely get you guys out some samples of the product, because I think that's going to be huge when you first get this out into the clubs. Sampling it out, they taste it. You can use these different sales tools that we're going to get you in your hands to showcase the new product. And really, I look at it this way. From what I know about your group and the fact that you guys, your group, was one of a handful of the key force behind us getting it formulated and put together and making this advanced as possible, because we know the market is huge for intra workouts. You guys were a catalyst to that. So I know that this is going to do well, and I believe, I would like to do something. Let's put it out there. Get with your team, or you guys are on a call. How many can your team sell in a month? Let's put together something fun. Can you do? I think y'all could easily do 20. From what I know about your guys' belief in intra workouts, and hopefully your belief in, hey, this is a high quality product that we now get our hands on it to add with the rest of the SRX products. I think you guys are gonna crush it. So let's figure out something fun. You put a goal out there for your team of what you guys are gonna do. I think you guys can easily sell 20, which that is gonna boost your revenue for your goals, for yourself, for your team. And let's do something. We'll do some kind of an award system. You just tell me kind of what you guys think you could do in that 30 days, and let's make it happen. And again, I'm defaulting back to, this is a great product. I know you guys have a huge market for it. I'm doing the same thing with other 3 or 4 key groups that have also been catalysts behind this. I'm gonna challenge them. You wanted this, we got it formulated. We're excited about it. Let's see what you could do with it. Let's see who could do the best. And I think you're gonna absolutely love this product. So with that being said, I'm not gonna keep chatting on anymore. I appreciate you all jumping on. I hope you're excited about this thing. I hope you learned a little bit more about it. Let's get it going. It's probably going to be a couple days here, and then we'll be able to get it out to the club. So great to have you guys back on the training calls. We're gonna try to pick this up a little bit more frequent. If you guys need anything, you know where to hit me up. Shoot me an email, shoot me a call. If you have any more questions or you want to dig further into the Intra Edge, let me know. And I'll let you guys get back to the rest of your day, and appreciate it. Thanks so much.